Hello, this is Sunil Sunder Raj with the Everyday Fan Sports. I'm happy to be speaking with New York Boulders starting pitcher Matt Valin today. Matt, thanks for taking some time out to speak with me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I'm look forward to speaking to you.
Hey, Matt, so just a couple of days away from the 2021, regular season home opener at Palisades Credit Union Park against the New Jersey Jackals. Also, the debut of the Boulders in the Frontier League. Can you just walk around, through, how training camp has been, and just, again, the excitement of the season kicking off in a couple of days.
Yeah, definitely excited to get back, get going. Training camp's been going well. I think we got a good team put together. We've been doing a lot of live batting practice just to get us all ready to go for opening day, face this level of competition again. Definitely excited to actually have some fans in the stadium this year for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. I said I got to speak with one of your teammates a couple of days ago, Luke Burton. I want to ask you, regarding, it said the roster, but especially this pitching staff. Can you just, just the rest of the guys, again, how the depth on this team and just, what the expectations, I guess, are for this upcoming season, Matt.
Yeah, the depth of the pitching staff I think is really good. As far as expectations go, we expect to win every game. We expect to go out there, shut the opponent out every game. Like we go out there and expect to dominate every game.
Yeah. A new manager in TJ Stanton. Also, Matt, wanted to ask you just, I said getting to know TJ and now, of course, exhibition game versus NYPD last night. Just, how everything's been working out, with TJ here.
Yeah, no, TJ's a great guy. Definitely knows what he's doing, knows how to manage the bullpen, hitters. He's the one that put this team together. Like I said, I think he's put together a great group of guys, a great team, and definitely knows how to lead us.
Yeah, no, definitely. You got to pitch at Palisades Credit Union Park, of course, last summer in the All-American Baseball Challenge. I'm sure to get that experience under your belt, and especially with the COVID-19 pandemic, just, being able to play the game of baseball last summer, Matt, can you talk about how important that was, especially for your development, as a pitcher?
Yeah, no, I was very fortunate to get out and be able to play last summer. A lot of guys weren't able to, so they missed an entire year of development of facing hitters. We've had pitchers that hadn't faced live batting since before COVID hit, and just being able to get out last summer, face high level competition of hitters, just not taking that year off was huge for me.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you just about your training, from that point on, once the season did conclude there, playing the All-American Baseball Challenge, so up to this point, because, not only, with the team workouts, but also individually, what you were able to do, the past several months, Matt.
I'm very fortunate. I coach for a community college,
Mm-hmm.
up by Jefferson Community College. It's up in Watertown, New York. So I was able to get in there, throw with my pitching staff there, use that college's weight room. Very fortunate for that. Then in early January, I went to Velo University. Went there for a week. Learned a lot there. They made me up a program. I think they made it up through April, so I followed that for a couple months just to really help me get my body ready to go for the season. Then just, again, very fortunate to be coaching, because I was able to throw live against my hitters.
Mm-hmm.
So coming into training camp, this wasn't my first time seeing a batter in the box. Very fortunate for that.
Yeah, no, that's true. I was looking at your background and experience, Matt. You have, you pitched in the Can-Am League before, with Ottawa. And then, being able to, all these teams, including the Boulders, the Jackals, Sussex County Miners. I wanted to ask, especially playing at Palisades Credit Union Park, how special that is going to be, this year.
What was the question again? Sorry.
No, I was just saying that you have, with that experience, in the Can-Am League now, just being able to bring that, of course, here, this season, and, playing at Palisades Credit Union Park. You played, against other teams, with the New Jersey Jackals, Sussex County Miners. Just had to ask you about that.
Yeah, so that definitely gives me an idea of the level of competition of the league. Obviously, very high level. I think most of the teams in the league have former big leaguers, AAA guys, AAA guys. Just that experience, even though I was in the bullpen up in Ottawa, still just getting used to that level of competition is, instead of just getting thrown into it this year, is nice.
Yeah. I was looking at the schedule, a bunch of home games, said to start off, the schedule. I'm sure that's important for you guys, being able to establish that rhythm, just that, and be able to, string, a bunch of wins together, because especially playing well at home. I had to ask you about that as well, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. Starting off at home is a great advantage. Don't have to go hop on a bus for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Go sleep in a hotel. We get to go back, sleep in our own beds.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be an advantage for us starting off at home a lot.
Yeah, no, definitely. I wanted to take it back to, of course, when you were pitching in college, SUNY Cortland. And also, I was looking at your, again, your background, that you played as well in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League as well. I wanted to, maybe I ask you about that as far as, for Adirondack and I think Watertown as well, how, pivotal that was, again, for you, Matt.
Yeah, Adirondack especially was a bit of a wake-up call. I went out there. My numbers weren't great.
Mm-hmm.
Really, after that, I had to focus on getting my command down. I don't know how many innings, but I think I walked way too many guys. And against that level of competition, you walk a guy, chances are the next guy's going to get him over. And then just like that, you got a runner in scoring position, trying to pitch out of it. Then when I was in Watertown, that was after my junior season, I went up to Watertown. I was definitely more prepared. I knew what to expect. I knew it was going to be against a lot of Division I, Division II players, high level for college players. I was definitely much more prepared my second season in that league than my first.
Yeah.
And this showed that too.
You attended SUNY Cortland. You were able to flourish there. I said named to the NCAA Division 3 regional all tournament team in 2018. Finding a season high, I think 12 hitters in the regional game.
Yep.
I want to ask you just about your time there in a win over Baldwin Wallace. How again how good that was. Being able to accomplish say quite a bit there, Matt.
Yeah, so SUNY Cortland, had a great time there. Loved playing baseball there. Coach Brown, great guy, really knows what he's doing, knows how to lead that team. Then junior year, that Baldwin Wallace game was my only start of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Asian game in the regionals. Possibly if I go out there, don't do well, last game of the season, but
yeah.
I went out there. I think I threw 151 pitches right around.
Okay.
He tried pulling me after the fifth when I was at like one. I wasn't coming out until he yanked me out of that game. He wanted to lose that game. Even as a junior, I wanted to keep going. Seniors and everybody just trying to get us to that next game. So that was my only start then. So then senior season, I took over. I started game one. I had a rough patch where I actually got moved back into the bullpen for about a week. Then I found it again. For conference play, I was started every weekend. Then similar situation against SUNY Fredonia in the SUNYAC tournament. Mm-hmm. Elimination game. We got upset. Oneonta in game one, like 2-1. And then so come elimination game. I think we won it 1-0 in 10 innings. I went all 10. Like that was definitely the highlight of like my career right there, is that game. It was a fun to be a part of. I mean, 0-0 after 9 innings, like doesn't get much more pressure than that.
Yeah.
Trying to fight for a regional bid, which we ended up getting that large bid that year. But definitely as far as development goes too, helped me out a lot. I was phys ed major there, so I learned a lot about exercise science, weight room stuff that I still continue to use today, and try to share that knowledge with some of my college players as well.
Yeah, I was going to be one of my questions. Like, it's just it's a great, degree, to hold, because, there's so much that you can apply, to, baseball, especially. So before that, you attended. I guess I don't want to butcher the name. You want to pronounce the community college that you attended, but again, just your accolades speak for itself. It said on the baseball team, all conference honors, and set the single season strikeout record as a sophomore. If go ahead and just dive into it and just talk about how again special that was.
Yeah, so it's Onondaga Community College is the name.
Okay.
Everybody kind of butchers Onondaga. So yeah, freshman year, I was just coming off TJ. I made my first start after Tommy John surgery.
Okay.
Just over 9 months out. Kind of rushed it back a little bit. I was fortunate. I had one little setback, but I didn't even need to come out of the game. It just had some scar tissue pop in the middle of a pitch. Obviously, coming off TJ, you feel a pop in your elbow. You're terrified. That year, trainer came out. I threw a few pitches. Everything felt normal after that. It was the only little setback I had. So then the biggest thing that happened to me freshman year is come postseason time, I was just gassed. I wasn't used. We played 50 plus games compared to my high school season of 16, I think. So it's just completely different. I knew coming to like my sophomore year, I had to be in better shape, had to lose some weight. I think I was playing at like 225 at that point. Sophomore year, I trimmed down to, I was like 200, 205. Just in a lot better shape. And sophomore year was when I really realized like I could possibly go play professional baseball. That's when I started talking to a few pro teams. My velo spiked up from, I was like 83, 85 in that fall. I was like 87, 89, bumping 90 miles an hour every once in a while from the left side. I'm left-handed as well. So yeah, I just kind of took off, like everything just kind of took off, came into place. And then I didn't really struggle much my sophomore year. I was in better shape. Come postseason time, I wasn't gassed. Like my arm was still fresh. Like I was still ready to go for the postseason. That was the biggest adjustment I made, just getting in better shape, getting ready for that season, which I think is really going to help me this year, trying to play 95 games throughout 5 months.
Yeah, it is. It is a grueling schedule. Elaborate there on Tommy John surgery. I mean, there's so much, mentally, physically that you go through. I mean, how you were able to overcome those hurdles, Matt?
Yeah. So when I first tore my UCL, it was June going into my senior year. This is not when I got diagnosed or anything. I put it off because June going into senior year, obviously I'm uncommitted by that point. I don't know where I'm going to college. So I all summer with a torn UCL. And then come November, it hadn't gotten better yet. So I was like, I should probably go get this checked out. We get so I get an x-ray, comes back. X-ray is not going to show a torn ligament, obviously. So then they schedule the MRI. I go in for the MRI. They're like, you have a partial tear. I think it was right around like 3/4 tear of the UCL. So first we try a PRP injection in my elbow. That's supposed to take care of it a little bit. So I go back to throwing, pain is still there. So then I come back in, they look deeper they look at the MRI again, and there's a calcium buildup on like the end of my ligament. So there's no way for the PRP injection to really do anything because the calcium buildup is going to stop it from helping. So I tore it June. I finally I played my entire senior year of high school with it as well. But then in May 20th, 2015, I remember the date. I got the surgery. Then, because it took him like an extra hour because they had to grind all the calcium out. And then I was fortunate enough where they reattached my ligament. And then they took a tendon from my forearm and put it over. So I have my ligament plus my tendon. So hopefully it makes it even stronger having the two there. So then the recovery is painful. I remember sitting there 3.5 months out, like my arm feels good and as good as it could have for that time. I just wanted to throw. It's hard to pace yourself. I'd say that's really the hardest part, is to pace yourself in that comeback. Because obviously I just want to get out there pitching again. I want to get out there with my team. I want to play in games. But just taking my time with the rehab. Like I said, I still ended up rushing back a little bit, pitching my first game just after 9 months, where realistically I probably should have redshirted my freshman year, but
Yeah.
It all worked out for the best in the end. But really, just that rehab is grueling. Like I was going to physical therapy 3 to 4 times a week. The first month, I don't know if I even touched a weight. I think it was all just stretching, maybe some light band work towards the end.
Yeah.
Months 2, 3, and 4 is all they just kind of spent time getting that strength back. Once the mobility was all back, just focus on strengthening it. Then months 5 and 6 was just slowly introducing to throwing. Towards the end of month 6, I was back to like throwing 75%. Like my first flat grounders right then. So then come month 7, I was on the mound and I was able to go live to like throw to actual hitters towards the end of month 7, and everything felt good. Like obviously my biggest thing was my velo was inconsistent too. There'd be days where I was like 77, 79. Then there'd be other days where I was like 81, 83. It's just, if I got lazy with my stretching, my velo would drop way off. So that's kind of another thing that it kind of taught me, was not only the strength aspect, but how important flexibility and mobility actually is.
I mean, once you have that, I'm just curious that, like, even after that, like shortly after, it always enters the back of your mind, like, that you're trying to block it out, but like, somewhere along the line, you think about it, it pops into your head. I'm just wondering about that, Matt.
When I'm on the actual mound,
Yeah.
none of that crosses my mind.
Okay.
After I'm pitching, I feel a little soreness in my elbow. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, God, I don't want to touch a ball for a couple of days type of thing. If my forearm feels even a little bit tight, I don't like throwing just because of that. Because like the day I tore, I remember warming up, my forearm felt tight.
Yeah.
Like it felt a little funny, but I was like, whatever, I got to pitch. I had a couple colleges come to the game.
Yeah.
So I have to pitch. I can't just not pitch and have all the colleges even like cross me off their list. Basically, was my mindset right then, being 16 years old still. So any sort of forearm tightness scares me now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering, is a lefty, just being out there on the mound, said the mechanics, just what are the are the differences, especially, I'm wondering if there are any like subtle differences, if you could just, walk people through that, Matt, when you're on the mound, facing hitters.
Okay, so I said the biggest advantage for lefties is there's not really a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, every team wants to find, if you have a bullpen of 3 lefties, you consider that a lot. Like when I was in, we had me and one other lefty up there. That was all we had for the staff. I mean, we had one that started, but as far as bullpen arms, it was me and one other lefty.
Yeah.
We actually have a bunch of I think we have 4 or 5 lefties on the team right now down here.
Okay.
So we have an amount.
Yeah.
Really just, it's a different look. Hitters don't usually see lefties, so it just looks different. Especially left on left matchups. It's very uncomfortable for a lefty hitter. I remember when I used to hit in high school, I always hated facing lefty, especially lefty breaking ball. Thing starts at, I don't want to sit in. It's just uncomfortable. It's just a different look that changes up their look.
Yeah. Just a couple more, can't take enough for the time, Matt. I was wondering that transition you made, of course, going from high school to college, but from college to playing independent baseball, how that, worked out for you.
Yeah. So funny story. My first ever strike I threw an indie ball. It was against the Rockland Boulders at the time.
Okay.
The guy, it was a 2-0 count. I decided I was just trying to get me over fastball.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he hit it about probably 400 feet over left side.
Okay.
That's definitely a call.
Oh.
Sorry, you there? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm here.
Someone was calling me.
Yeah.
They can wait.
Okay.
But that was definitely the biggest thing. It was just knowing, like, if I fall behind, I can't just try to groove one because they're going to make me pay if I leave it over the middle.
Yeah.
So just being competitive with all my pitches, even 2-0, 3-0, still trying to hit my spot, just be competitive with my pitch. Because, I mean, mistake in college, you throw hard enough, you can get away with a lot more mistakes than you can in pro balls. That's the biggest difference. You leave something over the middle now, chances are it's probably going to get barreled someplace.
Yeah. I wanted to go back to, I think, Lafarge High School. you not only played baseball there, but you also played basketball. I'm wondering
Yep.
that you were, a two-sport, star there. It said is a starter, all-star. I mean, how much again, that play, how much fun that was, being able to play multiple sports, and I'm just wondering, like, really, what makes the game of baseball so special, for you to play as well, Matt.
So yeah, playing multiple sports was definitely fun. Gave me a break from baseball in the off season. And I mean, basketball is a great sport. Like, as far as it translates to baseball, well, because basketball is a lot of sprinting, a lot of quick twitch movements, which translates actually to the mound. So I say that definitely benefited me that. And then baseball, gosh, ever since I stepped on a baseball field, like playing T-ball at 5 years old, like my dream was always to play professional.
Yeah.
Ever since I started playing, like this was always like the end goal. So baseball's always had a special place in my heart since day one.
Great. And can't forget about support from your family, and especially in what you went through, with Tommy John surgery, and the fact that here you're going to be playing, of course, now in the Frontier League. Can you talk about that as well, Matt?
Yeah, so support from my family. I started playing travel ball when I was right around 13, 14 years old. And obviously, that's a lot. Like going to tournaments every weekend. My dad would always come with me. My mom would come every once in a while, but she usually stayed home with my sisters. So really just, I mean, there was week-long tournaments that my dad had to take off work so he could come take me to. I'm really, really appreciative of that. And then right now, actually, I want to give a little shout out to like my host family, the Callaways. Stayed with them last summer when I played for the Brave. I'm staying with them again.
Okay.
Met their son when I was up in Cortland playing college baseball, and then now I'm fortunate enough that they take me in down here. But yeah, definitely fortunate.
Yeah, I don't think people truly understand and appreciate, like, with the host families. I mean, that support system, especially during the season, these 4 or 5 months, Matt.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's a lot on them because I'm getting home 11:30 most nights, and their dogs are up the. There's a lot on them too. So yeah, definitely appreciative of everything they've done for me.
I almost forgot to mention that you guys are going to be playing another New York team this year. Is the Tri-City Valley Cats. That's going to be pretty neat, playing another team from the state as well, Matt.
Yeah, I was actually fortunate enough to play in their stadium after my freshman year in regionals.
Okay.
Their Joe Bruno Stadium up in Troy. Yeah, I think it's in Troy.
Yeah.
Nice stadium up there. It's definitely gonna be nice having another New York team in the league for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the final question I have here, and I think you serve as an outstanding role model, Matt, because of what you've been through. Said especially with the surgery, and being able to overcome that, and here you are, going to be pitching, again, for the New York Boulders in the Frontier League. What your message is for those younger kids, said, and athletes, high school, college, even going to Little League, who want to be Matt Valin, and playing for the New York Boulders one day in the Frontier League. What's your advice for those athletes?
Yeah, just work hard. Like when you're on that baseball field, take it seriously. Obviously, have fun. Like, gosh, I love baseball. Like I have fun playing it. If I didn't have fun playing, I wouldn't still be playing it. So like having fun was a huge part for me always. Then just every day when you're on that baseball field, just trying to get better and better. Just don't count yourself out ever.
Sounds good. Okay, Matt, the floor is yours. If I've left anything off the table, this is your time to shine. And, I said, if there's anything else you want to add.
I think we've covered pretty much everything. Yeah.
All right, great. Hey, Matt, we just want to thank you again for this opportunity, to interview you before this 2021 season starts on Thursday evening at Palisades Cranium Park. I said, wishing you, continued success and all the best, I said, this upcoming season.
Thank you. I appreciate that.